This is TMI. Want to delve into the political arena, having established some facts in the health sector. We will talk about mental health. After all, this week is the brain week. Have you been fair to your brain? Anyway, it's all about Rivers State political crisis. He's taking a look at a threat by militants to attack oil installations. Now, that seems to be the latest version of this particular imbroglio. Don't forget also right now the House, the State of Assembly in Rivers State, they are functioning full throttle right now, and there's been no peace, so to speak. It is like, you know, the readings, the laws, whatever is coming up from the House right now is not in favor, in tandem with the governor, Simi Fubara. Don't forget the House, led by Ameolo, gave Simi Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, 48 hours, yes, to come present the budget, which has been presented already. They said they want to have their input. The governor said he has not seen any letter to that effect. He didn't go. They've taken note of it. Now they invited the ROCEC chairman, the professor, saying, look, you're the one in charge of election. And the Supreme Court have ordered for, you know, the abolition or sacking of these local government chairmen. That means you have to do something about the local governments. Mifubara immediately swung into action, sent them home, and said an election will be scheduled. And the House invited the RUSEC rector or commissioner, so to speak. No show. Then I had to extend the date again by 72 hours, approximately. That's been 3 days. And we're not counting the days. That is strike two. Would there be a response or not? It's like Rivers State right now is turned. The House versus the governor. And the governor needs the House to function. Simi said, look, the highest thing that will happen is that he's going to lose his office, but he will not lose his life. Because he wants the best for Rivers State. All of a sudden, a militant group said, look, since federal government choose to withhold our location, you've murdered sleep. If you don't release our location, just get set for attack on all your installations. And you know what that can do to the country. The police came out to give a statement saying, Riverians, if I should call them that, should stay calm. That nobody can do anything to them to have adequate security. In pidgin English, who do anyhow, go see anyhow. All in Rivers State. With all this happening, do you think peace will return to the state soon? Or is it going to be war to the end of tenure of Fubara? Talking about end, it could be complete your 4 years, or it could just be truncated by an impeachment move. Mind you, impeachable offenses according to the House has been committed by the governor. We'll take a look at all this. With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a human rights activist, public affairs commentator. He was a one-time youth chairman, yes, Edo State branch, right? Solomon Ijogbe. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Thank you very much, Wilson, and the viewers at home. A very good morning this morning. Happy Sunday.
It's been a while I had you on set.
Yeah, because you thought that there's a need for me to go on reset.
All right, I'm not amiable, you know, I'm just like you know. Anyway, we'll come to that later on in the course of the show. I have another vibrant gentleman, an entrepreneur, a businessman, a politician. Join me to welcome Honorable Paul Ogido Iwisi.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson. Good morning, viewers at home.
Put food on the table. You will not see or hear any of these things happening. I call him the voice of the masses. Join me, welcome Okoro Osahon Obaraye. He's a right activist also.
Thank you so much, Wilson. God bless you. Good morning, my viewers at home.
All right, all right. Well, before we delve into this particular discussion, yes, I also have joining us virtually. He is an author, an entrepreneur, political analyst. Jeremy, welcome, St. Moses Ermosele. It's good to have us join us.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. I want to start off from Okoro Osaho Obaraye. All right. Now, what do you feel about this? Please adjust your earpiece. It's like, the wires are like, showing and popping out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
Thank you so much.
all right. So,
Wilson.
what do you have to say about the current situation in Rivers?
Yeah, I think you should expect this when it comes to the Nigerian type of politics. Most times, if you are ready to play what we call the Nigerian type of politics, you should be able to also expect any information, any news at any given time. And we as Nigerians are human beings. When it does not favor your party or your person or your thinking or psyche, it becomes something that is not welcoming. But when it suits you, it becomes something of democracy is with hope of common man, everything is good. But when it does not go down well with you, yeah, we have lost hope in democracy, nobody there again, no hope. So the truth is that what is happening and what has happened in Rivers State is the political chess game. Are you getting it now? And also the law of 48 powers, the law of power come into play, which you can also delve away about it. As a politician, I'm telling you that what is happening now is the game of power.
Game of power.
Power, which as a politician, if you dare want to go into politics, you don't joke with power. Because if you lose power, you go on your knees. And it is so frustrating as a politician to go on your knees. It has happened various in all states. But Simfobara is unlucky. Why is he unlucky? The man that gave him power still had power. It's like the man knew that if he had not continued in power, that would have been his end. He would have been a political exile. And he would now become once upon a time wicked. But because of the power he still had, relevance still shone on him. I think Sim too was extremely too fast to act. He would have also studied the terrain before acting. Because there is no way you will shy away from truth. The truth is that don't ever joke with who gives you power. God gives power. But if God uses a man to give you power, don't joke with it. Because it's law of nature and karma. On its own it plays without you not even stressing yourself. No matter the burden of whoever has given you power, it's either you bear it or you walk away. Because in the Nigeria political sphere, it's winner takes it all. We are not talking about UK here. We are not talking about America here. We are talking about Nigeria, where it's like the animal farm syndrome. If you have it, you collect it, you hold it. You remember when he said, grab it, hold it, and move. Those slangs are what it takes to play politics here. We should not pretend about it to go speak. What is happening there is not good. It's not, because no matter how you put it, some of us that want to speak, or are you speaking on it, are even worse off if given that power. I've told you times to stand up by here, my brother. Don't joke. If you see a governor that is humble, pray for that governor. Because when you are there and sit and know the power you have, is the grace of God that now takes you to be humble.
All right.
I get it now. So for those that are shouting that they are going to strike whenever anything happens,
We'll come to that.
it's at their own.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Well, Honorable Ogido, you heard him. He said this is a practical display of power in Nigerian politics. Winner takes it all. No take backs. You are there, you are there. You fight, you don't fight halfway, you fight to finish. Is that what is really happening in Rivers State?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wilson. I want to agree that it's power tussle that is actually plunging River State into the crisis we see there today. But I don't want to agree that if you give power to anyone in succession like we have, Wike was not the first governor in River State. There have been several other governors before himself. They didn't kill him. You can't take it all. If you serve your tenure, you hand over to another person. Why not give yourself the respect that you ought to have liberally from that person than forcing that person to his knees because you want to be perpetually relevant? Yes, you can be relevant, but it does not mean that that person you put there should become your puppet. Sim Fubara have refused to be his puppet. And I want to see every reason with him. He has done his own. He has done his best. He has done his time. Why not allow this man to function and have his own time? We have had it happen in several other states, yes, though not to this degree. I want to accept that you shouldn't joke with the man that gives you power, yes, but power will always come from someone. It's a succession. When one finishes, he hands over to the other. If Simi Fubara should finish his own, he will also hand over to somebody. But what we are seeing in River State is like, I want to do a third term through this person I'm bringing here. And of course, nobody is going to accept that. And that is why you are seeing this tussle.
All right. Solomon Diogba, do you have a contrary view? It's all about power. Winner taking it all.
It's a bad syndrome.
A
Very
bad syndrome.
Yeah, very bad. Very bad syndrome in Nigeria. Yeah, I agree with Obaye when he said it's become a political norm in Nigeria politics today. But unfortunately, it's not heavy for the Nigerian people and for the Nigerian current politics, because we have come to find out that his leaders takes it all. It's not just winners.
The leaders takes it all.
Takes it all. Painfully, Yesu Wike is neither a PDP nor an APC. Yesu Wike has become a major infection in River State. Unfortunately, he is the 37th governor in Nigeria. And very unfortunately, the 37th governor in Nigeria seems to be more powerful than the other 36 governors. So I think that's the power Yesu Wike is using against Fubara. But having said that, I think that Fubara has displayed courage, strength, and has displayed that
Could you please interpret the tongue you just spoke?
It is better to say this is where he was executed than this is where he ran and left the things he should have done for his generation. It is painful that the justice system in Nigeria has become a puppet in the hands of the executives. And that is why I often refer to them as the judiciary. Because the executive has succeeded in thieving both the judiciary and the legislative. Because that is what the Nigerian political factor and the three-arm zone had turned itself. That the executive fits all and controls all. I say that without fears because what we have seen in the Nigerian political system over time has gone to show that there is no separation of power between the three arms of government. Suffice to say that even the second tier of government has turned the third tier of government. You can see that happening both in Edo and in Osun State, where the local government is at the mercy of the second tier of government, because the second tier had turned, if you like, tier the third tier of government. So, simply put, what you are seeing in Rivers State is not a new thing, but there is a new dimension that if it is not well managed, it becomes a precedent that you refer to as an antecedent that will become a bad omen in the future of the Nigerian political system.
I'll come back to you, Solomon Idiobe. I'll come back to you. Let's move straight down to where St. Moses Erimosele is standing by, joining us virtually. Some of the opinion that the situation in the Rivers State can be likened to true democracy, in the sense that the House right now is independent of the executive. Now, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, thank you, Wilson. Good morning once again. I agree with you that to the extent that the situation in Rivers State can be likened to a true democracy. Yeah, because for the first time in a very long while, we can now have an assembly that is completely independent of the executive. Yes, all this were orchestrated because of the brigandage that happened in the Rivers State between Wike and the governor, both of them acting like what I would not like to say on television, something that's completely ignoble. However, it is leading us to a semblance of democracy. The legislative arm should be different from the executive arms. They should have different opinions. They should not agree at all times, even at most times. They should quarrel, they should disagree to agree. Not that when whatever the executive is thinking, the legislative is already legislating. No, it's not right. They must argue. I remember in Bende State, we have Ambrose Ali as a governor, we have Benzi Alegbe as a speaker. At that point, it was war. For example, the creation of Ambrose Ali University and all that, they have to fight. They have to agree where is the university going to be, who's going to fund it, how it's going to be. That's how a legislature should be. Not that the governor is thinking, I want to do something, the legislature just go and stamp it. No. I think to that extent, I agree with you that the situation in Rivers State is getting us closer to where we should be, democracy, where the executive arm is completely different from the legislative arms. And the judiciary is also different from all of this. You can see the decisions by the judiciary. Much as we emotionally disagree with some of these decisions, but they are legally founded. You can't have 4 members of the assembly pass a budget for a state. That's an absurdity. That should not continue. However we feel about Wike has its own burden, but you can just think about it. You can't have 8 members or 9 members of the assembly lead a state of 23 members. You can't have, this cannot continue. And to that extent, I salute the courage of the judiciary to take the right decision. I think going forward, we are getting closer to democracy. We are still far from it, but we are getting closer to it. Thank you.
All right. What is I said, we are getting closer to it, sentiments aside. But if we are getting closer to the semblance of democracy, taking an example from what is happening in Rivers State, how come many persons are complaining about the process? After all, you just can't see. The executive giving an order, judiciary will be like, okay, the legislature, so to speak, the House will just say, yes, my lord, go ahead with it. Now, the heavily-led factions, they're beginning to ask questions. How is this spent? How is that spent? You want to be part of it. Why are people still complaining about it?
Definitely, Wilson. People will complain. I laid that in my foundation that if it's in your favor, that is a Nigeria. It takes the grace for you people to see people with heart of force condemning a system that we are involved in. It's not many. That's why I say most times when we come here to talk, in our own caveat, just small place, when they give you, make you maintain. And you do them. How you take do them? You at least you listen in your home. How do you control it? If you are already a man that takes that they craze from your 4 years old child, then when you get outside, you see somebody else child doing something, you want to smack. You can see that you are even worse off because your own at home is doing it and you are quiet. Somebody has told you that in Rivers State, 4 people, 4 handling situation, nobody quarreled, everybody was saying it's good. Because when it happened in Edo, judiciary was not sleeping. It happened in Edo. I never had a representative for 4 years in Edo. As a assembly member was sworn in on a nika. It happened in 4 years and nothing happened. Judiciary was not sleeping. Judiciary was not for the common man. Judiciary was good. Now he continued in Port Harcourt. The judiciary has now said, no, it should not be like this. Turn it like this. No, you see, judiciary, it has been bought. Wiki has bought it. This one and that one. Because this time, it doesn't suit you. So we must, first of all, as an individual, that whenever you mention my name, know that what I say here is what I do in my closet. We should not live wicked, live Fubara. Sometimes we should take of all mirror ourselves. If you were in his shoes, what will you do? So governor survived it. This one is not surviving it, it's not sinful. We should not throw away the baby bath and also do it. So we would have also sat down, judiciary will keep quiet. 4 people will just control Rivers for the next 4 years. They will say it is good. That is not a precedent that is not set. That is also okay. Since we've handled this one, and when it happens in Edo again, we are going to call 4 or 5 ourselves as a governor, straight there and continue. Because you say, then it will not be a ridiculous process. If Sim also had trusted himself, that's why I said the game of power, those people, for those 28 members that have been jobless for the past few months now, or years now, you have been also win them to your side. It's all about winning. That's politics. If you don't want to play it, leave it. Go and maintain your father's farm. Go and face your business. If you want to play Nigeria type of politics, it's number 1, betrayal and how you win power. You don't shy away from it. You saw him even trying to make sure that he left the party that brought him, trying to now also start building his own other party. You saw him, he's trying to, if he does not love power, why are you building? If you didn't love power, when the president said, settle this thing like this, let it be like this, you agreed. You came back to Port Harcourt and they sound in your ears. It entered you that you won't agree to what was said in Aso Rock, that you want to fight. If you want to, now, monkey smart, now street near to you. We survived it in Edo because the man that was there knew that the first thing was to shoot who was up. By the time Oshobole lost the chairmanship, that was the end. He became powerful. So before you that fought Wike, make sure Wike was powerless in Abuja. They should drive him back to Rivers where he can control him. Not where he still have power. So there was, he missed it as a policy. He missed it. If he had won, he would have become the new king of the block. Others that get to Wike also became very relevant after they get to him. So Wike had shown them, and he was lucky he survived that coup plot. This one now could not survive it. So most times we should see things rightly. I've not said Wike is a bad person, will survive as a good person. Since we are all politicians just like me, if I want to take that risk, if giving the governorship tomorrow, if I see it's not clear, don't take it. Tinubu has been succeeding. You can see what happened in Lagos. Because a man is controlling the system. If you don't want to be able to control, you don't enter Nigeria politics. Don't speak English about it. There's no 2 ways about it. Because let me tell you, for you to become a governor in Nigeria, you need a minimum of over 50 billion. If you have 50 billion, will you risk it in politics? If they give you 50 billion today, will you put it in politics? Then the people now sit around to say, okay, we see Wilson or Marshall as somebody we know we can trust. As business gurus, okay, let's go ahead. How much do you have? I'm talking ITV, I have money. How much do you have? I just hold on to my house, I have 15 million. That is for councillorship or local government chairman, not even as of assembly. Okay, let's bankroll this process. Then they did. to print a poster, first of all, now, we say close to $1 billion. A good poster, a gigantic one. I'm not talking about others. Then that one starts, people are calling it. Immediately you move, you now say, you know, this is my government, things have to be done right, this one have to happen, that one have to happen. You start speaking English. Speak English to where?
All right.
To those, they are mugus, they are fools that are taking their political risk to give it to you.
All right.
Do you know what it takes for people to sit down to give you power?
Okay.
It's risky, don't try to.
All right.
To give power.
You just hold on.
If you risk it, you are finished.
You just hold on now. We want to go for a break. When we return, we'll continue with this discussion. Don't go away. We will be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at the Rivers State's political crisis. Well, on the report, you heard what Okoro Sahon Baraye said. He's happy that right now, like what St. Moses opined, yes, we are getting closer to the semblance of democracy. But why are people complaining? I mean, in this particular dispensation, taking a look at what democracy really should be like or feel like, I don't think that Wike should be applauded one way or the other in this particular scenario. After all, we have a house that is not connected in any way to the executive. They don't think that this will allow dividends of democracy to trickle down to the common man in Rivers State.
This line of thought is laughable, honestly. It's appalling that some of us begin to applaud what is wrong as if they are right. First, let me respond to my brother there. I want to just make some references. When he says we are getting closer to what it should be between the executive and the legislative and the judiciary. Of course, if we are to get close there, but there are tenets that must be observed to get there. It shouldn't be true unruly behavior. The process shouldn't be chaotic. It has to be according to law. Let me point out here that the reason why Nigeria is where it is today is because we all believe that to cede power or to give power is an investment. From the way my brother here spoke, which he generalized that is the proper way in Nigerian politics. You have to give it all to the man that brought you there. Of course, you should know that if a leader, Wike is a leader in Rivers State, he said for 8 years, the tenure elapsed, he have to leave power or give the power through electoral process. Let's not forget that it's through electoral process. It's not as if he just called them and said, my son, I love you, come and sit down here. Whatever I want you to do, you do. Yes, he would have assisted as a sitting governor for the man he trusted to win that election. But should it be that he has to take it all? The man you helped to get to power should not have a voice of his own, should not have a word of his own, should not use his own mind? That's appalling. And again, let me make this clear, that the 27, it was not as if Simi Fubara just decided to say, the 27 of you, get out of that place, 4 of you, take over the assembly. It didn't happen that way. The crisis started between Fubara and Wike. And his loyalist, Wike's loyalist, which is the 27, they sided their boss. Let's leave all that happened. We all know how it happened. At the end of the day, they defected publicly. And when
publicly was written on paper,
it doesn't matter whether it was written.
The party that defected to say that they are their members.
These people declared openly that they are defecting to another political party. And what happens if I give you my car? I give my car to a taxi driver to walk and balance me, for instance. You are working for me. Okay, this car or this motorcycle, take it, I give it to you. When you just use it to go to work as means of transportation. And you now stop work. You don't want to work there again. You are now going to another place of work. Is it not? In fact, common courtesy demands that you give me my motorcycle back. If it's a car, you give it back to me. Fubara said, on the platform of PDP, you got the ticket to get to this position. And now that you are abandoning your duty as a PDP member, you have to vacate your seat.
They said they never did that. That's
we all know they did.
But they said they didn't.
We all knew they did.
But look at they said they did
not. They did. It's just because of the kind of country we are, where anything goes. Those who are supposed to hold people responsible, they look the other way once it's favoring them. So Fubara didn't say, oh, I don't need this 27, they are my enemies because they are loyal to my former boss. Now you have to leave the house so that I use 4 people. It didn't happen that way. It was simply because they have defected. That is why the government...
But right now the Supreme Court gave a judgment, they are back in the house. What should Fubara do as a governor? You're talking about the party. Right now we have a new board. Right? Supreme Court said, look, they are parts of their house.
Now,
the speaker...
Let's look at the appropriation. Let us now look at the appropriation that was under litigation. It was 2004. Sorry, 2024.
We've gone past that stage already.
Yes.
Let's come to the new stage right now. They are part of the house. The
you
speaker,
have to bring
it
back to the house. That's what they are saying.
Okay.
But of course, you know that events are overtaking that.
All right.
Is it 2025? No.
All right.
Are you telling me I should bring today to yesterday again? Okay. You can't go back to yesterday.
All right. Now, if you take, hold on, I'll come back to you, Honorable Paul. If you take a look at the house right now, because judgment is a full house. What I want to believe it or not, they've won it and nothing can be done about it. And asking just for one question, just one. Come, bring that budget, 2025 budget. They didn't talk about 2024 budget. 2025 budget, let's have an input. Because according to the Supreme Court judgment, some legal practitioners have opined that what Fubara did is an infraction which is impeachable. Don't you think that Fubara should just do the needful? Submit the budget, let peace reign before going to the militant group. Solomon.
Is the same thing as giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. The thing is as clear as many teker or Farsi in the Bible. My brother said it. You are a journalist. Go to your archives. The records are there. The lawmakers defected from PDP to APC.
You people keep mixing one point.
You know,
Supreme Court has given judgment. I don't want to go back there. Let's move forward.
In moving forward, there cannot be a today without a yesterday. And there cannot be a tomorrow without a today. Abraham said when he favors some, then it is okay. When it doesn't favor some, it is not okay. Is it okay? Are they loyal to the state? Are they not loyal to somebody? Is the House of Assembly Rivers State not loyal to the people of Rivers? Is that what you say seems like democracy? Where 27 members are loyal to the governor of Federal Capital Territory? It's nuisance. And it's arrogance. And it's madness.
Now, watch your emotions now.
No, the truth is this.
Watch your emotions.
The truth is this. You cannot call what is wrong that it is right. Neither can we say that it was totally right for a 4-member to run the Rivers State House of Assembly. But it was the reality as it was.
But
because
right, as Solomon, both of you are missing this point.
No, it's not.
Let's come to right now. We have the full house.
It is the reality See,
Okay.
what is happening here? That is why you are having the militants having to rise up. Because it is the kingdom of God, suffereth violence, and violence take it by force.
Wait a
No,
minute.
no. We must get it right.
Why is he bringing scripture into
No,
this?
it is. Because even Bible knows politics. Well, let me say this. If the militants were not screaming that we will bomb the oil pipelines and dismantle the what's it called? The sources of
Installations, yes.
force to the federal government, Fubara would have been removed like day for yesterday. All these are myths. Listen, Fubara said, in fact, it was on air, they gave him 48 hours. Fubara, from his SSG, said they wrote to the House, 48 hours is vague. Be specific. Meet with the House on Monday, 10 a.m. That's how House of Assembly makes their request. The Secretary made it clear that they have ceased written. There is no reply from the House of Assembly. Is it not looking for a way? Because it's not just enough to say, we gave you 48 hours. You must say, appear before the House by 10 a.m. on Wednesday. That's specific. And now, let it be that Fubara Singh didn't meet up with the Wednesday 10 a.m.
Okay.
That is not what we are seeing. You are giving dates. We are back here. Because that's where Yesu Winke wants to have it. But let me tell you, the Jaws are speaking fire and brimstone. You know why? They are saying this is our song. If you want, make we do them. We go do them.
I'll come back.
Because that is what it has always been. Because let me tell you, the federal government cannot risk. You know, like my brother said something just now. I said, it is laughable. It is laughable when I heard the Secretary General of Police said, what do you have me? Don't go try. Air Force, don't try. I beg you.
I'll come back to you, Solomon. Now let's move straight down to where Moses is. Well, said Moses. Now you've heard the opinion of Okoro Saobare, even Honorable Paul and Solomon Ejiogbe, different views. But right now with the militants threatening, then the police come out and say, "Look, we are on top of this situation." What do you think? Is that fire burning so strongly, so brightly in the hearts of these militiamen? Are they fighting for democracy, or they are fighting for individual, or they are fighting for an idea, or will I say fighting for the governor?
Well, thank you very much. In the summary, I'll quickly say the militants, or whoever they are actually fighting for their stomachs and purportedly fighting for the governor. Obviously, they're not fighting for the governor because the governor have not said that he has authorized them to say that. Take note that if the militants threaten this country has the capacity and the will to crush them, whoever they are. We'll consider them as terrorists, and then we'll crush them. And with the renewed will of the military, they will be crushed. Yes, it will come with some expensive casualty in our economy, in the sense that our economy will shake a bit, but they will be crushed. Having said that, do they have a right to agitate? If they were agitating for an idea, like the resource control, an ideology that goes through the country or the state, then if they are crushed, it will be an offense against them. But if they are fighting because the law is taking its course in River State, then if they are crushed, they will be crushed for nothing. Now, having said that, let's go back to what my brother Awari said. You know, he said, my opinion, he didn't understand what I said. I just want to quickly explain some things to him. One, he must understand the difference between law and morality. He's speaking, emotion, both of them actually, my good friends there, they are speaking from the
No, it's not about it's Honorable Paul and Solomon Ejiogbe.
Yeah.
I said it's Honorable Paul and Solomon Ejiogbe. They have different views, which is a very strong view. Continue, please.
St. Moses, go on.
I understand everything. What I'm trying to say is that law must be distinguished from morality. And the other guy is talking about the morality of Wiki and all that. we should go beyond that. They are talking about whether there was actually a defection from the party. There's no question. The Supreme Court has spoken, and once the Supreme Court has spoken, if you don't like it, you can go to heaven and question them. So the point is that actions have consequence. Wike must understand, has already understood that actions have consequences. So he has suffered a bit, and Fubara is beginning to suffer a bit from the consequences of his actions. If Wike had lost power at Abuja, like Oshomole did in Edo State, by now Wike would have been a laughing stock. But because Wike has some bastion in Abuja, and now Wike is still able to exert some level of control, and now Fubara is having some problems right now in the Rivers State House of Assembly. He should negotiate. The only way out is to negotiate with the people, because the House of Assembly, as far as the law is concerned, represents the people of Rivers State. The whole people of Rivers State cannot come out. They chose a number of representatives to speak on their behalf. So if the people are against you, you cannot lead them. You either walk away or you negotiate power. Power is not giving alakate. You must negotiate. You must fight. If in fighting you have lost, then you negotiate diplomacy. And Fubara, I think, is lacking in this area. If I were Fubara, they have these 24 members, or what numbers they have, 27 members. Just have to quickly negotiate with half of them, with a few of them, and divide their ranks. If I cannot divide their ranks, then I will listen to what they want. If they want me to surrender the budget of Rivers State to them to look at, they have a right to look at it, for God's sake. Give it to them to look at it. If they want me to surrender the wealth of Rivers State to them, they don't have that right. So I will fight, and then I will be fighting on idea. This man says submit the budget to us. You have to submit the budget to them. We cannot sympathize with you. Even though we are sympathetic with you, the law is the law. The law is strict, but that is the law. The law says give them the budget to look at, not to take. They will look at it, and they will approve it. If they don't approve it, you cannot do it. So what will happen, when I said democracy, we are getting close to democracy, is that what will happen going forward is that in Rivers State now, before a budget is approved or expended, both opposing eyes will look at it. Who will gain? The people. The road that they want to do will be done. Not in a state in Nigeria, or in a state precisely. I heard about a ministry constructing a road that does not exist. And that we will not hear that if there is no opposition. So we begin to hear when there is opposition, we begin to hear what is going wrong. And then who will suffer? The politicians will suffer. Who will gain? The people will gain. So it is a time Nigerians will go beyond emotions and start thinking, what can we gain from this ugly situation? The River State scenario is completely ugly. It's grotesque and something that is appalling. But it's going to lead us to something, to the point where the legislature and the executive will be different. The judiciary will be different. And when there is conflict between either of them, the other one who has supervening authority will supervene, and then there will be peace and there will be order. What we want to see in Nigeria is order. And finally, I'm saying that the reality is that Nigeria may go to a state of emergency if these Niger Delta militants try to do something ugly and the government supports them. If they try to do something ugly because of a decision of government that is purely legal, then the federal government will intervene, and then it may lead to a state of emergency. And take note, if there is an emergency in Rivers State, if the federal government must declare emergency in Rivers State for any reason, then it must declare emergency on itself. Because in Nigeria, the same thing that is happening in Nigeria is what's happening in Rivers State in a miniature level. Because in Nigeria, everyone is completely disillusioned. So if the federal government is trying to orchestrate a state of emergency in Rivers State, trying to show us pictures, I don't know who's showing those pictures of those so-called militants. If it's because of that, then the emergency that will be declared in Rivers State will be replicated in Nigeria, but I don't know how. Thank you.
All right, I'll come back to you because this is like a tangled web. It's truly tangled in the sense that if what he said might just happen, maybe the militants make do of their threat, you case of emergency, Fubara, do you think he's going to gain from it? Because, while he was, giving a speech, he said his followers should remain calm. But somehow, he may not be able to control the reaction of others. He never mentioned their names. He said others may want to react. And the others are not beginning to rear out their heads saying, this is who we are. Release our location and all that, or else on with peace. We start attacking oil installation. Do you see this escalating to the state of the Green Rivers as a state of emergency, Obaraye?
You know, Wilson, whatever I want to do or say, I always use myself as a case study. Solomon Idube and I are very close friends, very, very close. I want to tell you, Solomon Idube was one time youth council chairman of the state. And as he sits here, my brother, God sees my heart, he knows I don't lie. He still has the control of that place. All the people that came after him, those that were not loyal were removed. He's here.
So
listen, I'm not asking you, listen, don't.
Yeah, he's here.
Listen. If I tell you about anybody, don't ask.
But he's here.
Listen, that's why I hardly want to say something. He still has the control, full control. And anyone that has dead him since he left, as in one way or the other, become redundant. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. These are facts. So think of it if it was a president or a governor with billions. No money now, no money. He still has that power control. If money was there, that would tell you about power. I take time to read a lot. That is why I have to leave Nigeria politics, because if you continue, so many intrigues are there that will take you, whatever you want to say, it changes. Face business. If we discuss Nigeria politics, there's nothing like sense here. It must spoil your hand. Those militants that are talking, are we not adult to know that they are not up to even disturbing a state government to talk of Nigeria? If you can remember Obasanjo, that up to the goat in that arena was gone. It's a command. A command. So all those words are just like baby crying. Yes, Nigeria will lose. Lose what? If it's just stupidity in government, is it this time people will talk about oil bombing when Nigeria has other issues? We must say things the way it is. You know why? If you decide to want to do it well and not watch your back, you get your back messed up. Simple Power will be the highest loser. The highest.
In what ways?
Listen, you might not tell. Pray not to start a war. You might not tell how it ends. You might not tell how it ends, how it's going to end. Because if it's declared and there's a continuation, just know that you'll be singled out for the rest things that will be asked. And Nigeria will not use Nigeria against you. You should understand that. Are you getting that when Nigeria want to use Nigeria against you, there's no way where you can run to. Except Nigeria want to leave you. If Nigeria decides to fight you politically, when you are not in a good book, there's nothing you will do that is right. They will tell you, if you are wearing white, they will tell you white is against that area where you live. That's when Nigeria want to use Nigeria against you. So you should pray Nigeria is not used against him. You can see it might have sounded a joke because of the man that said it before you say spoke against him. Because maybe people were, it was funny. But you can see that what he said in less than 2 years came to just plain. The reason why some of us are deciding to contest election again, because I did in 2006, contested as a councillor with my little money. I now understood the terrain. I was baptized politically to say, okay, this is how it goes. Never again will I come. Because these people, that is their job. You are a journalist. You leave your own to come here. Politicians don't have any other job. They wait for every 4 years. And when somebody is coming, he will tell you, this one that is coming down, okay, what did they do, doctor? I think this is my time to buy a house in Lagos. He's telling himself already, he wants to buy a house in Lagos. From who? A man that is coming. I have a friend who I advised politically and went against it. I went to contest local government chairman. I told him, no, governors appoint. Forget all those ones. He said, no, a leader has promised him. And he sold his house, over 230 million in Abuja. And about 48 hours to, after they've eaten him, make sure they drained him, his cars, everything. 48 hours to, the governor called and said, the one that didn't even sell the house or doing it, this is the person they were looking for. You've spent money, you've been popular, go and support him with your person. And that was the end. It was not giving anything. The next day they gave him one political appointment, which I knew cannot even get it. And now it's now so remember to say, you advised me. I say, yes, because I saw it. I get it now because I've passed through this. That's why I'm advising you not to do it. So Nigeria type of politics, if you cannot discuss it with, I told you when I started, I said we are not talking about UK or America. If you want to say, you see Nigeria, that you are already coming to where I said to say, is it good? You should either say yes, it's good or it's not good. Why will I tell you when we're talking about Nigeria? What is good in Nigeria? Tell me what one thing that is good. If it's good, why virtually about 80-90% of Nigerians finding to run away from here if the air was good? But since you have asked us a question about this place, we must say it the way it is at this place where we are seated now. That if you joke with power here, you are finished. You burn your fingers. If you cannot repair it well, you heard well for yourself spoke to say, I suffered though. If I was a governor, I suffered though. I was not given chance to get a successor. I suffered though. You also heard in their presence when Wike said none of them there used 1 naira. In their presence, he said from the governor to all, none of them used 1 naira.
We want to go for a break right now, Koro Samba. You just hold on. Solomon, you're going to react to that allegation. I will not forget that question. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go away.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. It's all about the Rivers State political crisis. And we are diving into the threat made by militants to start attacking oil installations. I have gentlemen here with me in the studio that are doing justice to this particular discussion. Honorable Paul, let me come to you. Heard what St. Moses Marcelo talked about, and of course the opinion of Okoro Sahobara. They said, in summary, if this should happen, Fubara will be the biggest loser. Remember that even among the judges, you have some also loyal to Nyesom Wike. And the one in charge of taking care of oil installment, or let's say installation, oil pipeline, is an Ijoman also Tumpolo. If you go there, do you think the man will allow you to spoil his own job? Now, take it up from there. If things should degenerate, so to speak, who do you think really would be the biggest loser? From what both of them said, they said Fubara would be the biggest loser. Do you share their thoughts?
Mr. Wilson, before we go to who loses or who gains, let's talk about morality in the first place. If we remove morality from law totally, then the law will not have its essence. First, I don't want to agree that the militants who are threatening to blow up oil installations, that they are not having any ideology that is supporting that. Remember that the threat is coming from the area of that judgment that says that River State's allocations should be withheld.
Until they conduct an election.
So now, before they conduct the election, how does the people of River State survive? Are we not supposed to put that into consideration? Besides, they said only a madman will go to bed with his house on fire. We have leaders in this country that are charged with that responsibility of intervening even before it degenerates into what it is right now. Maybe because it favors them, they have to look away. After all, if it happens this way, I will be the one to gain tomorrow. But it shouldn't be so. Now, for somebody to say the militants are just a fraction, Nigeria have the power to crush them, I think that person is preempting what damage will be done to the economy of Nigeria. We have seen it happen before. We know what President Yaradua, former President Yaradua of blessed memory, did to ensure that that problem was contained. But if some persons believe that, oh, if they come up for anything, we crush them, we ask the military. The military is overwhelmed. I'm telling you this. You see, every issue we ask the military to take over. Must we continue like this? Nigeria is going down the drains if we continue like this. Honestly.
That's if we continue like this.
If we continue like this, Nigeria is going down the drains. We cannot preempt the power of the militants because they know so well the nook and crannies of that area.
The Greeks.
They can actually blow, no matter who you draft to that place, they will blow down those installations, and it will take a fortune to reinstall them. And is that what Nigeria would like to come to terms with? Is it not right that now that we still have time, those who have the capacity, those who are supposed to be the leaders, both in the Niger Delta and at the federal level, should come to the rescue of that state? Because the people that suffers, we are saying Fubara will lose. It is not Fubara. The people of Rivers, those who doesn't know how this problem started, will be the ones to suffer. And they are already suffering. So I want to submit that beyond the Supreme Court judgment, beyond the crisis that may emanate from that, there is still ample opportunity for the leaders of this country, those that hold sway right now, to go into their closet to see how they can solve these problems politically. Because it's a political problem. It started from a political struggle between two people. We don't know how they met. So please, my own submission is that people shouldn't fold hands. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a father who we know as a Democrat, should not fold his arms and begin to watch the River State.
But he came into this issue before Fubara reneged on the agreement side. Are you going to blame him?
You cannot categorically say that Fubara broke it down. No, you can't say that.
According to reports. Okay.
You can't say that.
All right, let me come to you. For what St. Moses said, he said Fubara should negotiate.
I think the best way
Yes.
is that for both parties to negotiate their way out. It's not Fubara negotiating. When you say Fubara broke the initial agreement, it is not true. Now, I would ask, shall we continue in saying that grace may abide? The Bible says...
There you go, bring your scripture into national politics.
We cannot continue to have it the wrong way. That certain political giant can seize the affairs of the state and begin to hold sway. And then you say it's a no. And let me answer, my brother. For over 1 year, I have not stepped my leg into the premises of the National Youth Council. Because I feel that what the young man there is doing is absurd. But that's personal. I'd never come on air to mention it. But the fact remains that I'm a stakeholder. If anybody wishes to contest elections in the Youth Council, as a former chairman and a former president of the council, there will be consultations. That does not amount to holding sway or dictating their affairs. And let me tell you, in the last 2 years, I had not received a visit or a dime or a grade from the sitting chairman. And you have never heard that Solomon Idoba went there to seize power. I built those local shops. I fixed the council, you are aware. But that doesn't make it. Yes, we have our differences. That's the point I'm making. So, Fubara and Yesu Wike can have their differences. But it is not enough for them to begin to create a situation that would make the Rivers people suffer. Because if the budget is not represented and a dime is spent from the coffers, it's impeachable. And then, like my brother said, you do not know the Greeks more than the militants. There is no amount of personnel that you take there that will stop them. That's how we communalize the insurgency in the northeast. And it crept to Abuja, and now it's everywhere. So we must not, by any means or way, attempt to overlook the threats of the militants from the Niger Delta. Because he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches.
Interesting. Interesting indeed, gentlemen. Well, we're about to commence our descent. So You're going to use 1 minute each to summarize your point, the way forward. St. Moses, over to you in 1 minute. Are you there,
Thank
St.
you.
Moses?
In 1 minute, let me just start by giving an advisory to the participants in the theater of the absurd going on in River State to find ways to make peace. The governor negotiate, the assembly have to be a bit more reasonable and tolerant. We know they are provoked, but they should not scratch their body as much as it itches. And to the people of River State, be happy that semblance of democracy is coming. And to Edo State that we are looking at everything from, let us learn from River State. When you create tension and uncertainty, the people are confused. The government is in disarray, and development is not going to happen. So we should learn from River State and make Edo State a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, St. Moses. Okoro Sonabaye, 1 minute, the way forward.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's simple. You know, if two people are fighting, and you know, you really cannot beat that person, and a third person comes to say he don't do, you that is a weaker person, the first thing you that just said is, oh guy, if not be you, this man for don't finish. When Tinubu spoke on this issue, that was what I expected from Fubara, because as a political neophyte, you will learn. In trying to dance a political Makaba dance, just say because of Tinubu, if not be Tinubu, Wike would have been finished here, and just Koto. Because since you still have it, I get it now. So now we are not begging the person that once said, let it leave you so to speak on the issue he once spoke about. I get it now. So he would have said so. But still, you know, he has learned politics the bad way. He has learned it, and it's one of those things. He will be more experienced now. You can see Fayose trying to advise him. He will be more experienced to also tell those that are coming what to do, how not to do it. Truth must be told. Now that is now like this, we are on the fixed place. Negotiation, this is now the time for power play. This is what the power I was talking about now. The higher power you have now, the better for you to negotiate. So it should be aligned. All he knows now that all those commissioners, all the appointment he has been done, zero. You must now go back to the drawing board to say this takes this, this takes this, this takes this. That is the Nigeria politics that we speak about.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get it now. If we
negotiate.
He has no option. He has no option.
Thank you so much.
On the negotiation table, those he's negotiating will cross their leg. Is he want to negotiate now?
Thank
those
you
are not impeachable. Are you getting it now?
Thank you so much. Honorable Paul, briefly.
Well, for me, I believe that there is still hope if the people are willing to sheathe their sword and embrace each other after negotiation. There will still be hope for continuity.
All right. Thank you so much. Somebody Jogbe, quickly.
Yeah, I do not think it is right to say Fubara should negotiate. It is proper to say the parties should negotiate. Negotiate in the interests of the Rivers people and the interests of the Nigerian state and the interests of healthy politics. Like I want to agree with St. Moses, others watching from other states should learn that power is transient.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate the wonderful analysis. You've heard them. Artists to report back to you as we keep watch on the situation of River State. Militants, don't touch our installations, okay? Just sheath your sword. After all, we are all one people. The one in charge of taking care of installations, one of you, all right? Nigerian money belongs to everybody. If you start bombing, the rivers will suffer. Sort of emergency will be declared. Fubara will be out. Military takes over. Is that what you want? As a nation will bleed. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We'll do it again some other time. Bye for now.